Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk about why you should read the Covenant of Steel series, and with the release coming out soon for Traitor, I feel like it's appropriate to talk about. I did get an arc of Traitor, so I did read it, and I can talk about it. Now I can talk about the whole series and why you should read it and why I think you should be as excited as I am about this series. So thank you, NetGalley and Orbit Books, for giving me the privilege of reading this arc. I absolutely loved it. I have given 5 stars to each of the books. The first one is Pariah. That's this one. They're, pretty nice, thick books, but they're really good. They're all by Anthony Ryan. This is Covenant of Steel trilogy. There's just the 3 books. Traitor, I think it comes out, it's like July 14th, I think is when it comes out. I don't know, I might be wrong a couple of days, but it's around that time. The second book is The Martyr, and then the third book's The Traitor, which is going to be, released here soon. And I'm so excited. I loved every single one. It's probably a top favorite series of mine. It's that one that I hear about a lot, and I'm really sad about that because to me, they're worth it, and it's a favorite. So I definitely think that everyone needs to read it. It's just, especially if you like fantasy. And if you like more of the epic fantasy with a lot of political maneuvering, a lot of action scenes, a lot of, battles going on, this is more of the series for you. It's really good. There's not like a lot of like fluff in the book, or I don't really know how to describe it, but it's not exactly like a grimdark book, but it is more on the darker side. But you do have a little bit of a good versus evil fight going on, but your main character is kind of morally gray at times. He's not exactly your your righteous person here. I mean, he's an outlaw. That's how he starts off. He's not necessarily the chosen one, but you kind of get a little bit of that feel, which I like that. I do. I like that in fantasy. I know that can be overused sometimes, but I always enjoy it because I want the person I'm reading to be the center of the story. And he pretty much is. He's always in the action. He's everywhere. But he's, he is a good fighter. He becomes a knight. He is more of a scholar, like kind of a historian kind of person. I mean, he's like everything. And it's really cool. And I really like that. He's such a great character, and is a fun main character. And he's someone that you can enjoy being in his head because he's pretty down to earth. He doesn't take crap from anyone. He's fun. So I definitely like the main character. I like the world. I enjoyed all the political maneuvering going on and all the battles. Every single battle was different, and I loved that. The author did not write battles and, more of a, straight, here, we're just going to go fight across the plain over here, But he would have sieges. He would have that type of fighting. He'd have more of like a kind of a guerrilla fighting kind of style where it's like getting attacked from all sides. I mean, he had everything. So it was really good. You were never bored. You could understand, because like they would refer to certain battles in the past by their name of what they were called. And you would always know which one he was talking about because each one is so distinct. And there's a lot in them. It's not like each book is just one battle. There's maybe 3 or 4 battles in each book. So there's a lot going on. And I just really enjoyed that. I feel like the author did really well in writing the battle scenes. I definitely think you should read the series if it's sounding like this is something that you would enjoy. And I was never bored reading it. There was so much going on, but the main character really did it for me. I really enjoy Alwyn as the main character. He's a very unique person, and he's there's just a lot going on. But going into, I'm gonna probably talk more about Traitor, just because it is the one that's just now coming out. And hopefully, with as excited as I am about it, it'll make you want to read the other ones, but there might be some spoilers for these previous books. So if you don't want to hear any type of spoilers, I'd probably recommend holding off. But I'll try not to get into anything too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but I just want you to be aware that there might be some. But I mean, a lot of it you could probably guess of what could be kind of spoilers. But I guess if you haven't read it, you're probably not going to notice. But I just want to give that warning there a little bit. But like I said, if you haven't read the first two, I recommend picking them up. I really do. They're so good. But the prelude of the third book does give you a little bit of a background of the other two, which is nice. And honestly, it's written so well. So it's written almost as if it's being told as like an account of history. Like these previous books were like a historical account, and the person is narrating it and is kind of talking about, you know, where Alan may have made mistakes or what was happening. So you get a little bit of a spin on the history of these books, but it's really good. And it's a nice little recap to help you remember of what happened in those previous books. But that's a really big feature of these books that I do like, is a lot of times there'll be scenes where they'll almost be described as a historical scene or a historical event. And Alan, you can tell he's looking through the world almost through like a historian scholar's eyes, to where he'll be like, let's see. So like, let's say it's a almost like prelude to a battle, and you have the generals or the monarchs talking together, and he'll just be like, or some speech is being made, and he'll describe how that might have looked, or how historians will make that scene look, you know, maybe like with a certain painting, or how it's going to be written. So he'll describe it that way. And it's really interesting. And the main thing that comes to my mind is our own, you know, view of history. So like, you know, George Washington crossing the Delaware, you know, obviously it didn't really look like that, but that's how we're picturing it. And he'll sometimes do that with some of the scenes, and he'll talk about how, you know, later on there's going to be paintings of this, and, you know, where he might have been standing at someone's side, they'll have him out, or they'll have him look different. And he'll describe that, you know, to make him look more like the bad guy or something. And so it's just really interesting to get some of those almost future historical points. And it's a nice touch. And that happens all throughout the books. And it's something I just really like. It's just really enjoyable. I love how it's written. And it's a cool writing style to get a little bit of that historical touch in there. But it's nice. So the beginning of the book, after the prelude, starts off immediately where Martyr left off. I mean, there's no gap. It's starting right. I mean, you could just continue to just read them all throughout. There's no like time break. It's no like 2 months later or anything. So I did like that. I liked knowing that I didn't miss anything, because everything is going crazy, you know, in these books. Yeah, you're getting a lot of build up. And so it's nice to know that you didn't miss something during that time. So it just starts, you know, immediately after that, which is nice. And then, like I said, I just absolutely love Alan's character. He's just really cool. I mean, whether it's his fighting or negotiating, or just his writing, or when he brings up, you know, his outlaw past. I mean, there's just a lot of cool parts about Alan. But I do like a lot of the side characters too. Evadine, she is, I'm probably not saying her name right, but she's, you know, another main character. And she's interesting in the Traitor, because after, you know, Martyr, you're starting to see she's not as righteous as she pretends to be, and that she is getting corrupted. And you're starting to see her slowly get corrupted over time, where like maybe she's allowing a lie here or there, or she's so you can just notice these little things. And, you know, her speeches are different, or she's treating people different. She's wanting to fight more rather than to just get peace. She's wanting to rule. And Alan is finally starting to see that and notice that. And so he's having a lot of ethical and moral questions, because after Martyr, you can tell that there's, you know, a little bit of a fling going on between them. And so he's having a lot of issues trying to reconcile the fact that what he knows that he knows that she's doing is wrong, but he also has, you know, the heart ties there. So you're getting a lot of those moral and ethical questions going on with him in that book. And it's interesting to watch him try to work that out, because where he does have that outlaw past, like I said, he's kind of more morally gray, but he does try to do the right thing. And I think this book really shows that he is trying to do the right thing. He does want ultimately peace for the land. You can tell he's trying to work through all that and to get everything right. But you can tell that, Evidine, she's not taking the right path there. The main one is where she shuns all of the Kareth people. And that one is where he kind of starts to draw the line. You can tell he's really being like, okay, something's not right. So those are just a little bit of it. It's just an interesting point to watch the book turn there. And the character, Alwyn, is really starting to, get some character growth on deciding what to do. You get a lot of interesting points there. And like I said, there's still a lot of fighting and a lot of battle scenes going on in the book, a lot of political maneuvering, and everything is done flawlessly, in my opinion. I love it. Each battle is still unique and memorable. There's more exploration of this world. They actually go to a new area, and they are with more Kareth people, and it's really cool to get to see the new area and more characters. I liked the Kareth people a lot, and I'm glad to get to see more of them. There's actually some really cool horses that are in the book too with the Kareth people. I know that sounds weird, but they kind of help there's this one tribe of Kareth people who the horses, they kind of decide which side to follow for them. When they pick Alwyn, it's a very big turning point. And so it's just interesting to get that point in there as well. And it was a really cool scene. And so it was just a little tidbit. It wasn't much, but it was just something that I thought was really interesting. You finally get to see some of the Malicite and Surfatile and what that is and what that means. You get to finally see, you get to see how they're illustrated in the book, or described. And I think that's really interesting. And then there's another point where Alwyn kind of starts seeing dead people for a little bit. And I thought that was kind of fun. It was kind of cool to get to see him wrestle with that, because he sees some people that, they have stuff to say. And I thought that was an interesting little tidbit there, and I enjoyed that. It was something different, and I really liked that. But overall, I really loved these books. I love this whole trilogy, the characters, the story. I enjoyed it so much, and I'm gonna be rereading these again. Probably, I don't know, every couple years I'll probably just pick it up and reread it, because I loved it. And I already want to reread them again. And so, like I said, why I think you should read it is because they're amazing. They're fun. They're not lighthearted or anything. They're just really good fantasy books. And I think, they're just done really well. I really enjoyed them. And I'm so excited to get the Traitor book, actually the physical book, when it comes out. I'm so excited for it. I'm just so glad I got to read it before, because 2 ends on a cliffhanger. So it was rough waiting. It was very rough waiting. So if you haven't started the series yet, now is the time, because all the books are going to be out, and you won't have a cliffhanger or the anticipation like I did, which was awful. So if you haven't read them, please pick them up. They're so good. And if you have picked them up, then you were probably waiting in agony like I have been for book 3. And I will tell you, book 3 is good, and it's worth reading it. So be excited. Maybe reread the other ones to freshen up. But I loved them, and I am so excited that I got to read it, and I can't wait to read the series again. So like I said, pick them up, and I hope you enjoy them.